Hi, this is Jim Moorhouse, and this is my Trekzone conversation.
Jim, thanks so much for your time today, man. I really appreciate it.
Oh, great to be here. Love it, man. Good to finally connect.
Now, the listeners may not recognize your name, but they should certainly recognize your face. Where from?
Well, my Twitter handle is at Enterprise Extra, also at Trek Ranks, my website. But the Enterprise Extra handle is from my lucky one-time living the dream moment where I got to be on the set and on the show, and I fired the phasers on Star Trek Enterprise.
Now, which episode was that?
So the episode was Awakening, part of the Vulcan trilogy. So an added bonus because it's honestly three of the best episodes in Trek history, not just Enterprise. So.
Certainly delved into the lore of those aliens that we've known from Star Trek for so long.
Yeah, I tell you, when I found out T'Pau, the young T'Pau was in my episode, when I was on set, I kind of lost my mind.
Now,
pretty cool.
Of course, we all know how actors get the jobs, but how did the role of this extra come about and land on your desk?
So really quick, it happened that there was an online charity auction that Robbie Duncan McNeil was sponsoring for his school for a walk-on role. And this was kind of at the lull of Star Trek's popularity, right? It was around 2003. Enterprise ratings weren't doing good. The show was kind of dipping. There was rumors it might be canceled. So I started monitoring this thing online just to see if maybe the price would be something I could afford. And about 2 days before, I looked online and the interest was really low. I mean, it was a very low number that was being auctioned off. So I told my wife, I said, listen, I'm going to go for this thing on Friday and see if I can get this. And of course, on Friday, it went up a bit, probably about 800% from what it was, but it was still, but I always tell people, I never really talk about the money, but I always tell people the end price is basically what you'd pay for a nice 2-week vacation.
Right.
And I was in the mode of, well, I'd rather do that than have a 2-week cruise or a 2-week holiday somewhere.
Yeah, they're boring.
Go to Los Angeles and be on the set and fire the phasers. Of course, when I won the auction, I had, at that point, walk-on roll means anything. They could put you in some boots, put you in the back of a scene, and show the back of your boot, and the scene could get cut. And that's all. Basically, all you're guaranteed is a tour of the sets. But I got lucky, and when they called and basically they set me up with a PA who was checking in on availability dates for me, and she called one day and said, they've got a spot on the bridge for someone to fire the phasers at the tactical station. Do you think you can do that? And I almost dropped the phone. I was like, yes, I can. I will be there.
Hang on, let me think about it. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. I tried to play it cool, but I was dancing around my office after that phone.
So are you a trained actor, or was this just a spur of the moment thing?
No, it was just, just like any diehard Star Trek fan for my whole life, for 40, 50 years. And you know how many times you've sat there and watched a show and thought, man, that'd be cool just to be on set one day, or just to be that guy in the background, or just I've literally thought of that since watching Next Gen. And this is what that opportunity was, and I got pretty lucky to be able to sit on the bridge and fire the phasers.
Well, how has it changed your life? I mean, as you said, you are now at Enterprise Extra on Twitter. Has it really deepened your connection to the series?
Well, it's a good question, and there's a two-part answer. The Twitter part is awesome. I connected with a bunch of fans on Twitter about 5 years after. And I'll tell you one thing I did. As soon as I was done with my appearance, I just sat down in my hotel room and I wrote all day, like 20,000 words, just every single thing I could remember from that day, so I would never kind of forget it, and I mapped it out. And that story, by the way, and it's long and it's in depth, is on my website at trekranks.com. And I'm really happy I did that because I can go back to it and kind of reference it and not forget things. But it was great to connect with people on Twitter and that community, because I've never, not a big social media guy, not even on Facebook, but I like Twitter. And then I'll say the other part of it. And this is actually be kind of sad. Is like, it's I say it kind of in jest, but it's also kind of true. Like after that happened, I gotta tell you, all of my ambition went away because I was just like, I'm satisfied. I got to be on set. I'm part of this. I was on the show. I fired the phasers. I just try to enjoy Trek and enjoy my life, and I don't have any more goals, any more ambition. I'm just hanging out and having a good time, and I like to think about it. I think about it a lot, so, to be honest.
So
hopefully that doesn't sound terrible.
Well, I think you went straight to the top. You peaked at the beginning, and there's nowhere else really to go.
It was kind of a life goal. I was like, okay, I don't need to do anything else.
I thought my aspirations were gone with the end of Enterprise, but of course Discovery's back. So maybe there's still a chance for me if I keep raising my profile. Maybe they'll just have me on as one of those celebrity guests.
You just never know. I mean, I got lucky, and you just never know.
Well, look, what has the fan reaction or the fan interaction been like for you on Twitter?
Well, it's it's been great. Just making a lot of friends. I mean, that's just I've always, people like to rip on social media a little bit and think it's a negative place, and of course that exists. But it's a far more positive place than it is a negative place. It gives people a voice. It gives people a way to connect who weren't able to before. And if you can't see that it's way more positive place than a negative place, you're kind of missing the point. And I really espouse that. And I've made a ton of incredible friends on social media and Twitter and electronically. Some people I've met, some that I haven't, but all that I consider great friends. And I think that's a pretty cool thing.
Now, in terms of ultimate cosplay, did you get to keep the uniform they put you in?
No, that's a question I get a lot. I didn't really keep anything. And in fact, you can read this on my website. When I was on set, I basically got no special treatment. They treated me like an extra. And hey, side note, they don't actually treat extras that well. It's basically, hey, extras, stand in the dark corner, and when we call you, get over here and shut up and do your thing. It was that kind of experience. So I didn't get to keep anything. I was on set for 2 days. First day I got to do a costume fitting with Bob Blackman, so that was awesome. And then second day was on set for about 14, 15 hours, part of about 5 different scenes. And yeah, I always say I didn't keep the uniform, but I was on the show. And I put the ship on red alert and fired the phaser, so that's more than enough thinking about that.
Well, it's absolutely fantastic. You've lived the ultimate Trekkie's dream. What would be your advice for people wanting to get out there and get on Star Trek? I guess look out for all of these silent auctions.
Yeah, I mean, I think the timing was once in a lifetime kind of lucky confluence of events. So, but who knows? I've seen there's been other walk-on contests and things I've seen through with the J.J. Abrams and the Kelvin timeline films. I'm sure Discovery will do one at some point too, but just got to get lucky. This one wasn't. Most of those they're going to draw your name out of a hat. This was one where it was a straight auction, so whoever pays the most money is going to win. And I often tell the story that that last 30 minutes of the auction, there was one other person out there I could tell, and we were like bidding against each other for the last 30 minutes, pushing it up. And with the last 5 minutes, I said, all right, I'm going to do one more. This is my limit. I hit enter, and about 2 minutes later, that guy didn't match it, and they announced, you're the winner of this thing. So very lucky.
Amazing. So even with the money that you spent, and you said that they treat extras just as set pieces, did you still had an amazing time though, right?
Yeah, the thing I tell people this all the time, I would pay 4 times what I paid for what I got out of it. I mean, again, I knew going in, basically all I'm getting is a tour of the sets, and I'm going to be in a costume. There's no guarantee I'm going to be seen on screen. There's no guarantee I'm going to be in more than one set as kind of a lamppost in the background. And yeah, what I got out of it, I would, if I hell, I'd pay probably 5 times that. And again, hey, if you gone on a holiday, then you could have been on Star Trek, because that's what I paid.
Well, fantastic, Tim. Thank you so much for having a Trekzone conversation.
Thanks, Matt. Great to be here, buddy.